I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open. I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open.
The rose is open. Our hearts are open. Our fears burning away. I invite you to join me in unfurling your wings. Why don't you stretch your arms for a minute? Get some energy moving in you and in this place. Just stretch and imagine unfurling your wings and being able to fly. Are you like the blackbird? Do you take your broken wings and learn to fly? Have you been waiting all your life to be free? I want us to keep in mind as we're talking all about this rose opening, this idea of blossoming, that blossoming, in order for that to happen, a seed first has to let go of what's inside of it in order to grow into a plant, just as a parent has to let go of the bicycle in order for their child to be able to ride. Sometimes we have to let go of a career or a friendship or an identity in order to become fully alive. The promise of letting go is the promise of life itself. Our grasping and our holding on is one of the ways that we fail to embrace our life. Are you familiar with how they capture monkeys in India? They catch monkeys by burying a jar in the dirt that has an opening just large enough for the monkey's empty hand to go in. And then they place a piece of fruit, like an orange, into the jar. And the monkeys will reach into the jar and grab the piece of fruit. And yet they realize that with the fruit in their hand, they can't get it out of the jar. And yet they won't release the piece of fruit, and they get trapped by their own unwillingness to let go. You and I can also get trapped by our unwillingness to let go. When we think about why, I don't know so much about why monkeys do it, but I know that for us, it's usually either that we're holding on to something in the past or we're anxious about the future. These two reasons often keep us from letting go. One man that I know, I'll call him Craig, just to give him some, not to use his identity, but with permission. He was divorced more than 2 decades ago. He suffered some abuse in his marriage for many years and finally decided that it had to end. Now, Craig and his ex-wife had 4 grown children at this point when they were divorced, and the children insisted that he return home to celebrate Thanksgiving and Christmas each year. Eventually, Craig fell in love with another woman, and he began to have a new life. And they wanted to get married, but his children insisted, "Dad, when you left Mom, you promised us that we'd spend holidays together as a family. I know, but I mean, we're not. Come on, Dad. It feels like you're leaving us all over again. You promised. And she's nothing like our mother, and we don't get it, and we don't like it. The children insisted the family still have their holidays together. And the new woman who he loved was not welcome. He tried one year not to have Thanksgiving with his ex-wife and his children, but it was very painful. Craig was so racked with guilt about having broken up his family that he bent to his children's will. Craig could not let go of his guilt. His children could not let go of the past. And together, they could not imagine a new future. Like monkeys, we can get stuck by our unwillingness to let go. Now, something happens when we're able to let go and we're able to make space in our lives. We can discover more truly who we are, what we want in our lives. Some of us are so buried in stuff, in material things that we've accumulated that we can't find ourselves underneath all of the stuff that we've collected. Or we can't find our path in life. Now, besides material things, some of us get buried in resentments or in guilt or in unproductive relationships or in a job that might fill our time and use up our energy, but keeps us from really discovering what we're meant to do or be in this world. Which brings me to someone named Marie Kondo. You may have heard of her. She's sort of sparked the latest craze in home organizing and decluttering. She's a Japanese woman. Her name's Marie Kondo, and she's developed something called the KonMari method of organizing your home. Now, she's written a best-selling book, and now she even has a television show on Netflix. How do I know this, you ask? My wife has invited me, I should say forced me is probably more accurate, to watch with her this show. Now, it's not exactly my idea of a fun evening to watch other people clean up their messy houses. But I must admit that it has been inspiring to see how people's lives get transformed by organizing and decluttering their homes. In her book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, Condo writes, "One of my clients has been a good friend of mine since college. Although she originally worked for a major IT company, after graduating, she discovered what she really liked doing through tidying. When we finished putting her house in order, she looked at her bookcase, which now contained only books that captivated her. And she realized that the titles were all about social welfare. The many books that she'd bought to study English, to hone her computer skills after going into the workforce, they were all gone now. While those books on social welfare that she had bought, many of which in junior high school, remained. And looking at them there on her shelf, she was reminded of the volunteer work that she had done as a babysitter for many years before entering the workforce. Suddenly, she realized that she wanted to contribute to building a society where parents could work without feeling anxious about their kids. So aware for the first time of this passion, she spent the year after this happened studying and preparing. She ended up quitting her job and starting a childcare company. She now has many clients who rely on her services, and she enjoys each day to the fullest, she says, as she explores how to further improve her business and the lives of the families who take part in it. When I put my house in order, I discovered what I really wanted to do. These are the words that Kondo hears all the time from her clients. For the majority, the experience of just tidying up causes them to become more passionately involved in their life and in their work and in what they do. She explains making space, whether it's physical space on a bookshelf or a closet, or emotional space or time in one's daily life, allows us to stop and experience ourselves more fully. In the end, letting go is truly an act of faith. Not faith in a dogma or a doctrine, but faith in oneself, faith in life itself, if you will. As Marie Kondo explains, life becomes far easier once you know that things will still work out even if you're lacking something. Now, as for me, I don't like to be lacking. In fact, I'm a big saver. I like to call it saver. Yes, saver. All right, there's a few others I could tell. But this is, now you can tell why my wife wanted me to watch this show. So when I throw away a shirt, I cut off all the buttons and I save them. Just in case I might need them sometime. I have a really good collection of buttons. If you ever need a button, let me know. You never know when you might need a certain button, you know. I also have a formidable drawer full of nuts and bolts and washers that I have been collecting for decades. I know, these are great things. I have a wood pile of odd-sized pieces of wood and dowel that could help me with just about any fix-it project that might come up in my life. Now, these collections, they're not about an attachment to the past. These are about the future. Now, like all of us, I hold out hope for a bright future. And you might need a button or what have you in the future. But it brings up for me the difference between hope and faith. Because there are two different things. Hope is usually about a specific outcome. I hope that the sun will come out tomorrow. I hope that my boss will like my work. I hope that my family will avoid some kind of catastrophe or illness. But faith, on the other hand, is a sense that whatever happens, I'll be able to deal with it. I'll be able to make it through with my dignity intact, with my sense of possibility and love still there. When holding on does not come from an attachment to something in the past that we can't let go of, it usually comes from anxiety about the future. And that's why letting go involves faith. Faith in yourself, faith in others, faith in life, if you will. That whatever comes, we'll be able to make the most of it. For some, it's about faith in God, a God who will not let us go. For some, it's a faith that everything happens for a reason. Or for others, it's a random universe that we inhabit, and yet they've discovered that with love and with care and connection, we can make it through anything we face. Now, it's my experience that we can make it through anything we face. And as someone who's traveled through some personal hells in my life, I do not make this claim lightly. As a minister who's watched people confront enormous inhumanity and regret and death and disease and disasters and decline. I come by this faith wholeheartedly. Perhaps recall some hardship in your own life or hardships that you've made it through and the ones you've witnessed others endure. We are capable of turning tragedy into triumph, facing death and disease with dignity, especially when we let go and let love in. It's a wonderful way to be in the world. One way that we build this kind of faith is by letting go. Question always is, how do we know what things to keep and what things to let go of? Marie Kondo asks her clients to take each object in their home into their hands and ask themselves, does it spark joy in them? Now, when it comes to relationships and careers and behaviors, joy is not the only criteria. We must ask, does it give my life meaning? Does it help me fulfill my sense of life's purpose? Does this relationship, behavior, or pursuit lead me in the way of love? Some of the hardest things I've ever done did not spark joy. In fact, some were incredibly painful, like holding the hand of someone I love as they were dying, like cleaning up after someone I care about when she was sick, like going to visit a friend in the midst of a crisis. It was not joy that made these experiences worth doing. It was love. It's a simple message. Let go and let love guide you. Let go because life and love are the greatest gifts of all. I love you. Amen.
We're so happy you're visiting with us online today. We love connecting with people all across the country and around the world, sharing our powerful message of love beyond belief.
There's something new happening here. You can now join All Souls as a virtual member. Our virtual membership is designed for friends who live outside of Tulsa, Oklahoma, and who want to engage with All Souls in a meaningful way.
You can be part of an expanding family, a global family really, wherever you are. If you live in Oklahoma,
Ohio,
or Orange County, California,
Canada,
or Cameroon. By becoming a virtual member, you'll be able to deepen your connections with members and friends here in Tulsa and with members wherever you are.
Each week, you'll receive special All Souls content tailored for you, our virtual members. Virtual members have access to pastoral care, to personal prayers, and also receive invitations to exclusive web events.
You can learn more, and if you're ready, you can become a virtual member today by visiting allsoulschurch.org/virtual membership.
We're grateful our ministries are having a positive impact on your life, and we want to share the good news of love beyond belief with more and more people. So no matter what, we need your support to keep this ministry growing and thriving, so please consider making a gift today. You can do so by texting
LOVEBB for Love Beyond Belief to 73256, or simply visit our website. You are a blessing in our lives. May you be blessed
and be a blessing.